Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another episode of my Sims 4 wishlist. In case you haven't seen any of the previous ones, this is a series where I talk more in depth about particular features that I want to see in The Sims 4. At this point, I've done over 30 episodes featuring various topics, from cars to lunar cycles to more gallery features, so I will leave a link to the My Sims 4 wishlist playlist in the video description below. So this time I'm going to talk about kids, because I feel like they need more stuff in The Sims 4. There's a lot of stuff they could still do, but I want to draw a particular focus to playgrounds. We do have some playground stuff in the game, but I feel like most of it is oversized stuff that is really hard to use. This does link a bit to a video that I did last week about how I think The Sims 4 needs more normal, everyday stuff. And thank you for the love on that video, by the way. It did much better than I expected. And there's definitely some other stuff that I want to talk about too in the future that I couldn't fit into that video. But getting back to playgrounds, I think there was a lot of cool stuff that The Sims 2 and The Sims 3 both eventually got that they should just bring back in The Sims 4, so most of the things that I'm gonna mention are from those games. And we might as well start with jump rope, since that is on the screen right now. I think it would be really fun if even teenagers and adults could do it too, but I'm mainly thinking of children, since it would be a fun activity for them in particular to do. And it does build the body skill in The Sims 2, so it would also double as a really fun workout option that also doesn't take up a lot of space. I almost feel like exercise equipment could be its own separate wishlist video too, but this one definitely fits the themes of both of those sorts of ideas. On a similar note to jump rope, I also want to suggest hula hoops. I'm kind of surprised at this point that we haven't had those, and I think it would be really fun for Sims of pretty much all ages to just pick one up off of a rack maybe, and be able to just do some workouts with them. Another object I'd love to see return from The Sims 2 is this carousel. I've seen plenty of these in real life too, so I think it would be a nice realistic touch to have this in my playgrounds. I would probably add them to just about every playground that I have in my game right now. One thing I'm really surprised The Sims 4 doesn't have at this point are individual slides, because we do have them as part of jungle gyms, and we also got that small slide with toddler stuff, but only toddlers can use it, so I would like to see the more conventional slides that kids and older can use. And yeah, I completely forgot children could throw up in The Sims 2. I'm not sure if it was just a delayed effect from the carousel or going on the slide, but yeah, that's interesting, but also another realistic touch that they can bring back. I also did get footage of this jungle gym from The Sims 2, so jungle gyms aren't really a priority for me. I think we have enough at this point, but at least with this one, it does take up a bit less space than the ones that we have in The Sims 4 right now. And I do like how it has a fire pole in the middle for children to slide down. Yeah, there we go. Whee! Yeah, that brings back memories of my childhood. We already had the monkey bars since base game, so that's pretty nice. And we do have swing sets now. We got them in both Seasons and Island Living, thank goodness, though I feel like I keep forgetting about them for some reason. Then moving on to The Sims 3, we did have individual slides as well, and I just stumbled upon this one that I'm pretty sure is from The Sims 3 store, and I was like, wow, that's so cute. It would fit really well into Windenburg if they brought it back in The Sims 4. I was surprised that a teenager autonomously used it, though I did have to actually reset the teenager later, because when I failed to get a good angle the first time that I had Bella slide down this slide here, yeah, the teenager took way too long to actually get moving, so I had to reset her. So hopefully that would not happen in The Sims 4. But moving on to some other stuff, I love that they put Hopscotch in The Sims 3. That was a staple game of my childhood on school playgrounds, so I would absolutely love to see this in The Sims 4. It's definitely in the top 3, I guess you could say, of playground things that I would like to see. And just like how it was here, I would like for it to be a group activity again, so the whole family can take part if they want to. However, one addition that I think would be really great for Hopscotch is that so you have a couple of different design options, because while I don't mind too much this rectangle with a background on it, I think it would be even better if there was an option so that there's just the chalk with the numbers, so that it looks like as if the sim just drew it on the ground without really caring too much about where it's going. Then you could have a hopscotch court that blends in with even more places, because I did see this on Mod The Sims, and it was created by Lizen801, so I think that would be a really cool idea to incorporate into this version of The Sims. Another playground activity that I absolutely need in The Sims 4 is Seesaws. Yes, Seesaws. How do we not have this yet? This is another really fun group activity for me too, though this time it would just be for 2 Sims, but I do think that's another thing that I see in most playgrounds wherever I go. Plus, it is a nice bonding opportunity for Sims as well. You can even see Michael and Bella talking to each other as they move up and down. So maybe in The Sims 4 you could have all of the normal chat interactions available that you would have while your Sims are swimming in a pool or talking on a couch. Yep, I can just imagine it now with my vampires going on a seesaw and one just deciding to drop a sick vampire pun on the other, and then the other Sim rolls their eyes as they continue moving up and down on the seesaw. I also wonder if maybe there's a chance that they could have Sims fall off the seesaw, get a little just minor bruise, and they'd have a negative buff for a couple of hours. Though I guess it would be a more sensible suggestion for the slides. We even saw Sims kind of just fall on their butts, so that would be a nice sort of realistic touch too. Because one complaint I see about The Sims 4 a lot is that it's too easy, there really aren't enough negative repercussions that go on. So it is possible to get hurt while playing on a playground. It's happened to me. I remember I hit my forehead pretty hard. I can't remember what it was on. I think it was on monkey bars. So stuff like that should be possible in The Sims 4 as well. Oh, and what you're seeing here is pretty funny because I completely forgot that in The Sims 3 sandboxes it was possible to bury certain objects, so I had Bella bury her homework, and then her mother got angry at her. Wow, I totally did not see that coming, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind sandboxes returning to The Sims 4, though I did do a video a few months back where it was a tutorial on how to make your own sandboxes, because if your sim is walking on sand terrain, they can make a sandcastle. So if you just fence in an area with sand in it, then you can have a sandbox. But it's just a basic rectangular sort of shape. I wouldn't mind having really cute theme sandboxes just like this octopus one that you're seeing here. Yet another thing I would love to see in The Sims 4 that's actually been in all of the previous Sims games so far are spring riders. I love how we've had a variety of different ones that could play different music. Like that seahorse one could play a bit of Sims Vacation music, and then you have a horse one that Bella's riding right now that has sort of like, I don't know how to describe it. It makes sense as a horsey sort of music. They're just cute, fun little objects that I love having as extras in my playground. And I wouldn't mind having these scattered across maybe a few packs, because in The Sims 3, we did get them back in Generations, but I know we got some through the Sims 3 store, and the Seahorse one came with the Town Life stuff pack, so I wouldn't mind that being repeated with The Sims 4, but at least have 2 or 3 to start off with. We also did have the Spring Riders in The Sims 2. Unfortunately, those were only for toddlers, but in The Sims 4 I would love for them to be compatible with both children and toddlers just like they were in The Sims 3, and you could have a parent help the toddler on the Spring Rider and they can they can watch in excitement as the toddler rides it, so yeah, that could be really fun. As a side note, I think it would also be really fun to have some social interactions that would make sense to be used on a playground. There's this peekaboo one right here. I'm not sure if this is really a playground one, but that just happened to be at the end of the footage anyways. but I would love to see Tag and Cops and Robbers return. I've also seen tree houses being mentioned, and personally I don't consider tree houses to be a playground thing, more like something that you have at your own house. But I do have some ideas for tree houses that I would prefer to go more in depth in a separate video for. But now we come to the part where I wonder how Maxis would actually give all these things to us. And I'm not sure if all of these things ever will happen in The Sims 4. And if they did, there's almost no way they'd all be in the same pack. Unless it was, say, a game pack that focused a lot on kids' activities. But I think there are a few different ways they could at least give some of these things to us, because I wouldn't mind seeing a family-based expansion pack. It probably would end up pretty similar to The Sims 3 Generations, but a pack like that is a good excuse to bring playgrounds in, because it is a good place for the whole family to spend time together, not just children or toddlers. And I could imagine them doing a playground stuff pack maybe, though they kinda already did that with toddler stuff. It's just that it was very focused on toddlers, but I think that would be a bad way to do it, not just because of a repeating theme, just for a different age group, but also we'd probably get 2, maybe 3 of those things max, if one of those things was just a slide separated out from the base game Jungle Gym. I could also imagine at least a couple of playground objects fitting into a free time sort of expansion pack. That is something that I've talked about before, but yeah, I do think it would make sense, especially if it was something like the hula hoops and jump rope, because they could tie into a potential fitness sort of hobby. I think out of all the things that I mentioned in this video, the things that I want most are Hopscotch, Seesaws, the carousel from The Sims 2, and jump rope. So hopefully we can get at least those things in The Sims 4. But that wraps it up for this episode of my Sims 4 wishlist. So feel free to let me know what you would like to see for playgrounds in The Sims 4 in the comments section below. And hopefully I can continue doing more of these wishlist videos again in the future. I feel like this is a pretty good time to do it, especially since we're between packs right now. We're waiting for what's hopefully Discover University to be announced. And yeah, be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!